Jason goes marking his territory. Here's your look at the Friday the 13th shelf art from Boost 3D Printing. Now you can pick up the Friday the 13th shelf art, a movie display to complement your horror film collection. The logo's signage works great for horror fans, especially ones that love the Camp Crystal Lake Killer. Should you wish to pick up this one for yourself, I can provide the link down below to Boost 3D Printing, the Etsy store that I stumbled on of all things and found these really cool replica movie titles. Oh, and there's a lot more that they sell as well. But nonetheless, we're going to stop the tape measure at the very top. Should, again, you be interested in picking this one up for yourself, I can give you the necessary dimensions of how big these titles actually stand. And this particular one, and the sizing does vary, but the one that I picked up stands 6 inches in height. And that in centimeters works out to be 15.3, get a gander at that, 15.3 centimeters tall. We're going to revert back, go back to the past, and we're going to get the length going. And from the T on the to the H on th, we're going to stop the tape measure right there. Th, right there. From here to here, you're looking at the title being 7.5 inches in length. And that in centimeters works out to be 19.1 centimeters long. This particular title does come in various different sizes. I think ultimately the one I got was the large, which worked out roughly about $16. But there's small, there's medium, there's large, extra large, and super large, which works out to be a very substantial 11 inches in size. But I thought for the sake of displaying this in front of my movies, I didn't want to have something too large in stature. I decided to go with something a little bit smaller. And I got this one right here. Now, this one is also done in red. If you feel like you'd like to go with a different color, then rest assured, they also produce these in various different colors. There's glow-in-the-dark, the black, white, green, blue, pink, red, and orange. I think there's also a light blue as well, so there's lots to choose from. I think ultimately I went with the more classic red. I was sort of teetering between red, black, and white. For me, the more traditional colors of Friday the 13th, at least the logo on the old vintage VHS covers. That's one thing I really like about this particular design. It's simple, really, when you think about it. It's just 3D printed title. And it, like I said, it's just been printed in the 3D material, the type of material, of course, that the 3D printers use. On the back there, I mean, it's fully realized. It's a solid piece. I mean, obviously, it still has fragile natures to it. You don't want to be bending or anything like that, but it's definitely not hollow. It's finished on both sides. You can also see that there's a little bit of the residual texturing that sort of is a trademark calling card for 3D printed material. It sort of gives it a more vintage movie store look. I think that's the one thing that really caught my attention on these, and immediately I couldn't have clicked on that checkout button fast enough, because when I see this, if I put this down like right here, for example, maybe even on an angle, it kind of reminds me of like the old video stores I would have gone into back in the day. You know, those video stores that would have had the little Velcro pieces to tell you that the VHS tapes were still available. Yes, that was a long time ago. I would have imagined seeing like a little standee like this, perhaps like next to a standee of Freddy Krueger from A Nightmare on Elm Street. And that's, I think, the appeal that I really like with these particular pieces. They also have a whole slew of these as well. So if you're thinking to yourself, geez, it would be neat if they could produce ... most definitely go over to their Etsy store and check out some of the other offerings that they have over there. Things ranging from, I think they also had Scream. They had, I'm just trying to think off the top of my head the ones they had. They had a couple of Marvel and DC related ones, but I think the ones that really caught my attention were the horror variety ones. The one I really want to get, and probably next in line for my checkout, is going to be the original vintage Nightmare on Elm Street. No, I don't mean the more staple Nightmare on Elm Street. Remember those big blocky letters from the original Nightmare on Elm Street title? They've got that one done as well. And the neat thing about theirs is it's got all the red logo, and then in the Elm Street, it's done in the white. It's really cool the way they've done that. The neat thing, again, about these is it's a standee. So again, you can have that completely, you could have that in front of a movie collection. You could have that maybe on a table with your movie memorabilia. I thought to myself at one point, if there was a way to hang this, I mean, it's strong enough, and all the letters are obviously connected to one another. I thought if I took like a little picture nail, the little small brass ones, and I ran it right between the I and the D of Friday, if I ran it right back there, I thought maybe I could actually hang this on the wall. I'm still not really sure which direction I want to go. Part of me thinks hanging on the wall would be a neat idea, but I think almost the appeal for me, as it stands right now, I think, is just to have it standing on a shelf. I'll probably have like my movie library behind it, and I'll probably have the Friday the 13th in front of it. As I said, they've got like a lot of really cool designs. I initially got my attention got caught by seeing the Friday the 13th logo because I was looking at Friday the 13th on Etsy. Then, of course, I went down the rabbit hole and saw the other stuff that they were producing over there. And I could probably see myself repeatedly going back to this seller and picking up even more titles. It's a really, again, clever idea when you think about it, that somebody said, why don't we just produce a movie logo font? How classic and perfect is that for fans of whatever movie you end up picking these things up for? Again, it started for me with Friday the 13th, but it most definitely will not be stopping with Friday the 13th. I'll probably be picking up even more of them. With my phone in my hand, a little bit of time to spare, ended up translating to pretty much the same scenario that most collectors face: impulse buying. Sitting on a couch Sunday afternoon, and like I said, the time was mine available, I decided to go through Etsy and see what was going on over there. I like to do that from time to time. I might type in one thing, and before I know it, I'm going down the rabbit hole. I searched Friday the 13th to see if there was any new mask makers out there, and I stumbled onto this Friday the 13th 3D printed title logo. It immediately caught my attention. I looked at the price, which was very modest again, and like I said, I'll put the link down below in the video description. I ended up checking the other stuff that this seller, Boost3DPrinting, actually does make. And not only do they have the one thing I would have wanted them to make, an original vintage Nightmare on Elm Street sign, but they have signs for like Jaws. They have signs for Stab, sort of a play spoof within Scream. They have the title for Stab. They have Marvel, they have Terrifier, The Devil's Rejects, House of a Thousand Corpses, and even have Halloween. So there's a lot of stuff to choose from. I could probably see myself going back to this store frequently and picking up additional titles. The neat thing again about these is that you can change the size that you want. So if you don't want something maybe as big as the one that I've picked up, you can get something a little bit smaller and modest, or you can even get something a little bit bigger than this. The question would then be where you would end up displaying this. I probably will find myself displaying this in front of my horror movie collection, but I think there's also potential for probably hanging this. This one may be more than some of the others. With Nightmare on Elm Street, I don't think I could pull that off. The Halloween, obviously, no. But Friday the 13th, I might be able to put the nail in between the, like I said, the I and the D, that little hole opening there, and maybe I can hang it. Still not really, again, sure which one I want to go with, which way of displaying it, like I said, I want to go with. The defaulted out-the-door price for, again, if you want just the regular average size one, is about $14. So like I said, you can't beat that at all. The Nightmare on Elm Street one that really catches my attention is because it's all done in red. But like A from A Nightmare on Elm Street and On Elm Street is all done in white. So it's sort of a two-tone, two-layered effect. It's really neat what they've actually done over there. How come more artists haven't caught on to this idea? I haven't seen many examples at all of anybody thinking, why don't we just design movie title logos? It's ingenious when you think about it. Not everybody is going to be keen on picking up custom figures, nor maybe statues that people are doing now with 3D printing, but logos, I mean, how clever is that? They even have ones for Marvel. So again, if you're a big fan of this kind of stuff, displaying this on your shelf with your collection, with your movies, whatever you'd like to do with these, it's a really clever, again, idea from the folks over at Boost3DPrinting. I'll put the link down below in the video description. Today we were having a look at a 3D printed Friday the 13th movie title logo. A little bit different than some of the other stuff that you normally see on this channel, but based on the kind of stuff I still like collecting, you probably knew it was going to be inevitable. And it sort of goes with a lot of the stuff that I like to look at on this channel. Big Friday 13th fan, and this was a no-brainer for me. If you are new to this channel, or a long-time viewer, never got around to it, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below and keep your peepers peeled, because there's going to be a whole lot of stuff coming your way. It may not be of the 3D printed variety, but there's definitely going to be a whole lot of videos coming your way. As always, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys next time.